All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Oops, my mic is mute. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, there we go. Welcome to the ASAP Wrestling Hour here. I am Ray Cruz, your host. I'm going to bring you on the panel here. First, we got the TNT champion, William Morgan. How you doing, William?
Hold on to this great championship. I ain't losing it.
Oh, you losing it. I'm challenging you for it. The next guy coming up is my protege. I named him, and he took my name and ran with it. That's Chris Pretty Boy Robertson. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Looking forward to talking some wrestling with you gentlemen tonight.
Let's go.
And we're adding a guy on here. He's our vice president of the All Sports All Place. He's wearing the PlayStation. I'm calling him Jay, the PlayStation Nest. How you doing, Jay?
What's going on? What's going on? You know,
and he got the hat.
Official with it. You got
Yeah,
a prime time coming there like boomerang. Yeah,
and then we have one more coming on with Nate. And when Nate comes in, we have the whole show, the whole cast from the ASAP Wrestling out for the first time in a long time. Yeah. So, gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight? Y'all ready to talk some wrestling?
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Let's go.
We're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be doing some. Yeah, he said free Drew Dop. Yeah, whatever her name is, but you know she's about to change her name again. I guess that's the plan for Dewdrop there. So
yeah, I can't say that too much longer.
Maybe her finishing move will be called the Dewdrop.
That'd be cool.
You can still say it.
That'd be cool.
Free
Dewdrop, baby.
Oh yeah, we're gonna start talking about tag team, but I want to get something out of the way real quick. We have a special wrestling hour coming up on Friday, 7 p.m. Central Time. And I'm going to put up here. There you go. Exclusive. Rod Wiles and Stevie Ray from Harlem Heat will be on the All Sports All Place Wrestling Hour at 7 p.m. Central Time. That is 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And that is 5 p.m. Pacific Time. So, fellas. Just we're going to lead into the tag team. We'll lead into where we'll come up on Friday here. Let's talk about some tag teams of wrestling here in the 80s, 90s, whatever one you want to go with. So I'm going to start with my man, William, the TNT champion here. So go ahead and name some of your tag teams that you like to follow.
First favorite tag team has always been Harlem Heat. Just for the fact that they changed the game in wrestling. They fought like a who's who gathering in tag team wrestling, and most of the time came out on top. Then Doom, with the mask, you know, they were at their peak with the mask. They really do nothing after the mask, but with the mask, they did their thing. Another team that I loved back in the day was the Midnight Express. Sweet Stan, Beautiful Bobby. I love those guys. You can make an argument that they were the best. Won both the United States tag titles and the world titles world tag team titles at the same time. You gotta give them props on that. Other teams you can look at, honorable mention that I don't know if you really consider them a team, but I love watching Sting and Luger team up. I love that. And that's pretty much about it for me. Those were one of the most the best tag teams that I thought that I followed back in my day.
All right, Chris Pretty Boy Robinson, who did you follow back in the day? Or any current ones?
So growing up, like William said, I was a big fan of Harlem Heat. Love seeing their dynamic, their finishing move. Like Stevie Ray held them up. Booker hit that side kick, was always great to watch. Like the Faces of Fear. Ming, one of the most, the toughest dudes ever. Barbarian. They were just brutal, just out there just beating people up. Then kind of Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman. I love the High Flyers. They were a great tag team. Then got in WCW. Of course, New Age Outlaws. Probably the best tag team entrance ever. Probably just one of the best entrances ever in general. Not even just tag team, just Road Dogg on the mic. Edge and Christian. That's probably my favorite tag team of all time. And then right now, the Usos.
Yeah, the Usos are good, stuff like that. So, Jay, the PlayStation NES, man, who's yours?
Man, so when we get into it's hard for me to actually say it who I enjoy watching. I had to break it down to who I think is the greatest and then who is my favorite. Because if I don't do it that way, I don't know, it's just difficult to really break down because I enjoy watching them all. And that before I go, because a lot of people don't catch me on Wrestling Hour a lot, but before I go, I just think wrestling is just different now, and it just you have we can sit up here now and I can pick through people like, oh, okay, I like the Usos, kind of like what Mr. Pretty Boy said, but back then it was like every tag team was supposed to be there. They all had their gimmicks down and on lock. They were all great. You had the Legion of Doom, you had the Demolition, you had Bushwhackers. Man, you had what was the tag team? What was it was a stable back when Hulk Hogan was back in like 1992, 3-ish, and they had Typhoon, they had Tugboat, they had
the Natural Disasters.
The Natural Disasters. That was another one. I just love their gimmicks, and they had Rocky Boy. He had the light blue tights with the clover leaves. And he used to wear the flag.
Pretty Boy Martel.
Well, Pretty Boy
Martel.
Martel was there, yeah, and then they had, but the other dude, Davy Boy, or no, not Davy Boy. What was his name?
Ray Martel and Tito Santana teamed up together.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm missing the dude. He used to carry a flag around. It'll come to me.
But I just like Bulldogs.
No, the Bulldogs. That was another great tag team. The Hart Foundation. I mean, they had, this one dude, the Texas Tornado, and what was his then, and the Ultimate Warrior when they linked up for a second. That was nice. Man, I can stay in that era. There's so many. There's so many in that era.
Demolitions.
Yeah. And then as I come forward, I got the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys. I skipped over the Steiner Brothers. Ooh, I pushed my button. My bad. The New Age Outlaws. I told you before we came on, I used to love watching the Rock and Sock Connection. Even though I didn't think they were a real tag team, I didn't get the sense of like a tag team from them. I got the sense of like two superstars forced to be a team because they were superstars and they needed it at the time. So it kind of felt like that in the beginning, but I feel like they developed a good
chemistry.
A really good chemistry over time. Really, really good chemistry over time. I'll take you guys back. The Money Inc.
Oh,
Money Inc.
Oh man, yeah.
Money
going back.
Woo!
Going back, man.
That's going way back.
Way back.
Apocalypse. What is it? The protection agency they were at the time.
Oh, the Acolytes. Yeah.
Yep. That was another good one. I mean, so since we're on the tag teams, and we obviously have one half of one of the greatest tag teams ever to bless professional wrestling, in Harlem Heat, 10-time WCW tag team champions. Where do they rank? Where would you put the Harlem Heat? Up there, in the rankings. I mean, I missed a couple more. I'll drop a couple more names before we go through just to kind of refresh our memories. Let let me see. Let me see if I can pull something up. Or
Well, in my rankings, I have the Road Warriors number one. I have 3D the Dudley Boys at number two because of the tag team champions and what they won. But I have Harlem Heat at number three. They're my third best because the simple reason is I like them as a heel. I like them as a good guys. I like them as everything they represented at the time. Their music, their chemistry together, everything about them was flawless when they first came in. Because I'm gonna tell you exactly when I was in 1993, I was sitting overseas and I was in a pub watching wrestling event in foreign language when they debuted. Yes, and the only thing about that is in foreign languages they had to use the English language for the Harlem Heat because there's no foreign language over there for Harlem Heat whatsoever. Like everybody was going around hollering Harlem Heat and all that stuff. And I will never forget this guy sitting beside me at the bar. And then when they announced the Harlem Heat was coming, they looked at me like this, like I thought I knew who they were, but they would burst on the scene. And from that day one, and over the time that I was in that bar, Harlem Heat became one of my favorites. And when they went up against the Road Warriors, that solidified them as a number third tag team in my list.
They're number two for me. I think the only team I got ahead of them is the Midnight Express with Sweet Sand and Beautiful Bobby. Again,
I was gonna bring them up.
The thing with the Midnight Express, man, they solidified their greatness when they won both tag titles at the same time. That solidified it for me. If they weren't a great team before, that solidified for me then. And for the Horsemen to put them over in that position, I thought that was an amazing thing. Then I got Harlem Heat right behind them because what Harlem Heat did, Harlem Heat took on all comers, and most of the time they won. They brought the tag team, what the tag team meant, because the tag team wrestling sort of kind of slipped off a little bit. Harlem Heat brought that back, so I gotta give Harlem Heat their props. So they're number two for me.
What about you, Nate? Who's your where do you put the Harlem Heat in your top 3, top 4 list?
To be honest with you, I started to get into wrestling around 2000 and 2009. So I had to go back and look into a little bit of it. But I would probably put him right at number 3. A lot of the stuff that I know is from 2000s on. So the two that I would put over would be Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys.
Okay. I mean, for me myself, I don't know. The Harlem Heat are my favorite, hands down. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Harlem Heat are my favorite. I would actually put them at probably, I don't know. I'm gonna slide them in as number 1 because they are my favorite. They are a 10-time. The only one that I was gonna even put close to them would be the Road Warriors. Just in a lot of it has to do with charisma, and because I believe that back then that was a majority of wrestling. You had your in-ring, performances, all that good stuff. But we've talked about it before. Wrestling back then was about pay-per-views and the story. I didn't really care, what was going on in between the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Unless it was maybe Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Nitro, then you wanted to really, really tune in because it was like a mini pay-per-view when those shows hit. But really, we cared about those shows leading up into that pay-per-view because the storylines were just so juicy back then. Where now I believe it's kind of like the total opposite. You really got to watch the weekly shows if you want to enjoy it because the pay-per-views have been duds compared to what we were used to in the past. So, but man, I didn't hear it. Another one that's in my top 3 is the Dudley Boys. That's another group that their charisma and what they've done.
Ray mentioned them.
Oh, you did say the Dudley Boy. My bad.
Yeah, Dudley Boy's my number 2.
Oh,
And
that
that's
was your
a
number
hard,
2.
and you can go back and forth between Harlem Heat and the Dudley. You really, really could. You can interchange those if you wanted to. Dudley Boys were awesome, and
Right.
man, you could interchange those at any moment.
And then I like DX.
Yes, they're
No, I like Badass and Billy Gunn. I mean, the charisma that they had. And let me tell you another reason why.
Yeah.
Let me tell you another reason why. The way that their tag team was and who they were surrounded by, they had to be tip top in charisma.
That's
You have Triple H, you have Triple H, and you have Shawn Michaels.
I agree with you on that.
Before we get to China, before we get to anybody else, you got Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
2 Hall of Famers.
They got props, they got military tanks, guns, they're breaking laws, television laws, telling people to suck it. Dude, you have to be tip top with your charisma to hang with that.
They had us thinking they were gonna do an invasion back in the day.
Bro,
Yep.
we always like,
They drove up to the arena.
Mm-hmm, they sure did. Yep.
what's gonna happen?
I was there.
I hope they get out of there. I hope they get out of there.
Actually, I was running security because we had to use shore patrol for the Navy, and because they needed extra security at the arena. I was actually outside where the tank was,
Oh, man.
wow.
That's
in
awesome.
the background of it. Yeah, I seen it when it came up, and I'm looking at him like, no, they're not. And he had all the cameras and stuff all set up and everything. It was amazing. It was just a truck. They were following a truck. A truck was in front of them with the camera rolling. And they had WWE written down the side of the white truck in front of them, so they know who they were. And they had all these police escorts in front. And then at the time, Jim Crockett and all them, and Bishop had to run and lock the freaking door because they were going to actually ride into the arena. And they actually ran back down and told them to lock the door so they couldn't get in.
That would have been hilarious. That
So-
would have been, you talking about breaking down the fourth wall, breaking down the forbidden door. Man.
Yeah,
I
it was at
ain't
the
gonna
Summer Arena.
And I ain't going to even talk about Mickey James right now. We talking about tag teams, so I ain't going to bring that up. That's ridiculous.
I mean, you know, some of the tag teams had some good managers like Mr. Fuji,
Bobby Heenan.
Bobby Heenan,
Oh man,
Paul Jones,
Yep.
Gary Hart.
Yep.
You know,
Jimmy Hart was man. It was like a love-hate relationship with them because when he was a heel, I don't know, his voice first of all.
Yes.
Come on. You're like, what the hell? Shut that dude up. Shut him up. Mr. Fuji though. That
rest
was
in
my,
peace.
The man. Mr. Fuji was the man.
that was my dude.
He was the man. Short.
You know,
He was.
you know when he got out of wrestling, he was actually a ticket guy in Nashville, Tennessee, selling movie tickets.
Wow. Don't forget Paul Bear.
All Bear.
Oh. Who's the greatest manager of all time?
Heenan.
I gotta go Heenan too.
Heyman?
Go Heenan too. All due respect
go
to
with
others,
Heenan
I
as
gotta
well.
go with Heenan.
You said Heenan or Heyman?
I said Heenan.
Heenan.
Bobby Heenan.
Bobby Heenan.
The brain.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, Heyman's a close third behind Jim Cornette.
Yeah, close third. Yeah, you gotta give Jim Cornette his props too. I know a lot of people don't like Cornette.
Yeah,
because-
I think like we just listen to Cornette and forget that like Cornette was that dude for a while.
and
He
I
made it
think-
happen.
I think people sort of kind of drown him out because he's going back to the old days of wrestling, and a lot of the newer fans don't want to hear that. But
Right.
Cornette was that dude.
Honestly,
But I mean, if you
Cornette
wanna
is
go
right
really
on a lot
back-
of things he says. I mean, I know that's not what we're talking about, but some of his stuff is actually right.
Yeah.
It's just his delivery is a little wrong.
But I mean, if you want to go really back, what do you got? You got Freddie Blassie. I like Miss Elizabeth.
Captain Lou Albano.
Right. I think
Versus
I think
Paul
she's
Ellering.
funny. But nobody mentioned $1 Million Man.
Who?
I was thinking about that earlier, but I don't know.
$1 million
If
man.
you consider him as a manager though?
Both, because
Not until the later part of his career.
Yeah.
I don't know, because remember he introduced the Undertaker, hailing out of Death Valley.
Facts.
Yeah, but the very first person to introduce the Undertaker was Brother Love.
No,
I
brother,
love
no,
you.
Teddy. Well,
Nate,
I guess you
love
could say
you.
that, but no, his very first match, Undertaker's very first match, was that Survivor Series when Ted DiBiase had the secret mystery partner, and he introduced the mystery partner, and he was hailing out of Death Valley with Buddy Love. But if you remember, from that point on, he was actually the manager for him, kind of side by side with Buddy Love.
Nate, I love you.
I love you.
You.
I be in it all, Ant.
I mean, if you look at certain things in tag team wrestling and stuff like that, get a good tag team over. Harlem Heat did it without a manager at first. You know, they got themselves over without an actual manager in WCW.
Yeah.
And if you want to go there, you know, the Dudley boys did the same thing. The Road Warriors had to have a mouthpiece in Precious Paul Ellering.
Yep.
But they did get on the later part when Precious Paul Ellering left them. They did get on the mics after they learned how to do it.
But at the same time, though, the Road Warriors, the way that their character was built, they had to have a manager in the beginning.
Yeah.
They had to.
The thing I like about the Road Warriors, the thing that I like about the Road Warriors, the way they had everything set up for them when they came into wrestling. They had a manager already. They had a manager ready to go. They got over. Then they start putting Warlord and the Barbarian together a little bit later on to have those teams and have those two teams go at it. And I love those matches. All
right, let's play a game. So I'm gonna throw out some rivalries, and we're gonna rank them in the top 10. Okay, you guys are gonna rank them in order from 1 to 10. All right. So the first one I'll throw out, and these will be all kind of more recent. I'll go back. I'll leave that in its own category because they won't kind of fit. Let's do. We'll mix it up a little bit. Let's do the British Bulldog versus the Hart Foundation.
I say number 5 for me.
Yeah, that's a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna roll
That's
6.
a 6.
All right.
Shout out to the Dynamite Kid.
Well,
Shout out to David Boy Smith.
Let's go Legion of Doom versus New Age Outlaws.
The rivalry itself.
Yeah,
The rivalry itself or the match?
the rivalry itself.
That's about a 7 for me.
That's an 8.
go with an 8.
I'll come a little bit newer. Let's go with the New Day versus the Usos.
3.
On a scale of 1 to 10?
If you're talking about right now,
Wait, are we
if
saying,
you're talking
like,
about today,
Where we
Ranking
would
them.
rank it, or
Yeah, where we would rank them.
yeah, I go 3.
Okay, I'm gonna give you
I
10 of them.
I got them around 4.
Okay.
I agree, Ray. 4.
I would go with a 3 as well, but I feel like that's more of a 2-part storyline.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because in newer, I would put it down way lower than that.
But if you talk
Hardy
about the
Boys.
very beginning, yeah.
Hardy Boys versus Dudley Boys.
See, that's almost a cheat because you got to have Edge and Christian in there with those two.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw them separately because they
Okay.
got
Well, for that, I got them at number 3.
I'm gonna go 2 on that
Okay.
one. Then
2.
okay. So then Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian.
2.
1.
1.
Oh,
Hell
yeah,
yeah,
1.
Hands down.
Hell yeah, 1.
The Brain
What about
Crushers
negative
and
one?
Demolition.
See, man, am I wrong, Ray? I was never crazy about Demolition.
What?
I'm right
At
there
number
with
10.
I'm right there with you, William. It
I
was
was-
the LOD knockoffs. I mean, that's all it was.
I just
How?
I'll
I
put it.
didn't see it
I'm not
with
gonna put him
them.
in a 10, but I'll put him a little bit higher than
didn't see
that.
it. Am I wrong?
Maybe
You're
like
100%
a-
right, man.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
You're
They were
wrong.
just when they put them together, and before the Road Warriors went into WWF at the time, when this all happened, I was like, this is just a knockoff, and you just put a Chinese manager with them. That's
Yeah.
a Japanese manager with them.
But Mr.
You know.
Fuji bought, like, he freaking ran with that shit.
But you knew who they were. But you knew who they were trying to emulate when WWF put them together.
Instead of putting shoulder, you know,
I'll put him in an 8.
Okay.
Put him a
I
little
got him at
higher,
10.
not too
I got him
much.
at a 10, man.
I got him at 10.
10.
Okay.
Ain't never been
I was
crazy
gonna go
about
9.
Demolition.
You talk about me and William. We go all the way back to the 80s, and when they first came in, I was like, that sure is a knockoff. And you can, if my dad was still living, you can ask my dad, because I read my dad. I said them SOBs. That's what I said, SOB to him. My dad looked at me like, oh boy, you getting in trouble. He said, what are you talking about, SOB? I said, those on TV, Road Warrior knockoffs. And he's like, yeah, I kind of see that, you know.
They
But-
wasn't anything great. You know,
No,
I ain't gonna
it was just
disrespect
two
them.
big guys.
Yeah, that was it. And some face paint.
And Mr. Fuji made the whole team.
Yep. No Mr. Fuji, no Demolition.
No. But again, that's why I liked him, because it was a way for a manager to, like, showcase himself without fighting. You know what I mean? A lot. And I think the Demolition, like, really.
It's the
ate
only
that up.
reason I didn't really care too much what I've been reading. I didn't really care too much about him, but the whole manager aspect is the only reason I put him a little higher than William. and
Yeah, I mean,
Ray.
you get a point
Yeah.
there with Mr. Fuji.
And
And
it
we
also-
forgot about Slick too.
And it also makes you sort of kind of sad that managers are really thrown to the wayside nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a kind of like a different approach. Remember the Freebirds?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Rock and Roll Express.
Bro.
That's why I
Free
like
Bird,
that
Rock and Roll Express, the
They
Von
were-
Erichs.
You know, Freebirds are the ones who introduced entrance music.
Yeah.
Nobody else
yeah.
was doing that before them.
Yep. Freebirds.
Right.
There was Freebirds. And I'm not a fan of Michael Hayes, but I give the Freebirds credit. They did a lot of groundbreaking stuff.
So let's kind of switch over to like the WCW, because I felt like WCW brought an edge of like WCW made it okay to have an old car type thing. It was like WWE was like, you have to have a new car every year. And then WCW was like, no, you can take that new car, polish it up, make it shine. And I feel like they brought a different gritty and edge to wrestling that it needed to survive to where we're at today. You had teams like we've been talking about, the Nasty Boys. You had the Steiner Brothers,
Yep.
or the Outlaws. Teams like that. Like, what was one WCW tag team that just really did it for you?
Armstrongs. I just want to give the respect to the Armstrongs because they weren't great, but
Right.
they were solid, and they deserve to be talked about.
Dusty Rose and Magnum TA. Dusty Rose and Magnum TA. Or Magnum TA got hurt.
Dusty
It's a
Rhodes
shame,
is
man,
good
because
with
Magnum was about to
everybody.
win the world title. He was gonna win that world. I don't care what people say. He was gonna be a world champion.
What about you?
I mean, outside of Harlem Heat, the Steiners.
I was going to say
Yeah.
that as well.
They were just something
Secretly,
about
just
Like,
athletic.
yeah,
inclined,
man.
just sick.
Like, as big as they were to move like they did.
Yeah.
Rick coming off the top with the Bulldog, Frankensteiner. I mean, it's like, man, these dudes are
Rich,
cheap.
Yeah, but-
man, y'all don't forget Rich Clothesline now.
Yeah, and saying when them two came in, that'll open up for the amateur wrestlers to come into professional wrestling
Exactly.
too.
Yeah, I think people forget about that.
Yep.
yeah,
Wasn't Rick Steiner the Florida heavyweight champion at one point?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a wrestling, amateur wrestling background that came back from college wrestling to University of Michigan.
Yeah.
I'll go back. Try to say somebody different. I'll go with the Hollywood Blondes. I
Ooh.
think Steve Austin and Pillman. That was another one that is one of those teams that are slept on.
Mm-hmm.
They were good. They were
I
good.
don't think they got. I agree with
They didn't
you.
get there.
I don't think they were a team long enough. They should have been a team a lot longer than what they were.
But they realized really quick they were holding them back that whole time. Like as soon as they put them together, they were like, "Holy shit! Oh, we got something here." My bad, guys. My bad, guys.
That team was short lived because Pillman got hurt, and then
He was in an accident. Yeah,
he got hurt. That's why they were short lived.
And I think was he already did he already change his name to Steve Austin, or was he still the ringmaster?
He was Steve. No, he ringmaster ain't coming to after WCW run.
Yeah,
he was stunning Steve Austin in WCW.
At the time. You're right. Steve was stunning. He had a weird ass wardrobe.
Yeah. He got a WWE.
Yeah.
And I think another honorable mention is the Nasty Boys, because I think the Nasty Boys really created. I think they pushed that whole Attitude Era, even though the Attitude Era we reference it to WWE a lot. But I think they helped really break those boundaries. Without the Nasty Boys, a lot of things in WCW never go down. You know what I mean? Like they really broke the boundaries. And I think on the flip side, I would see like the Bushwhackers, somebody like that kind of did that for WWE a little bit as well, because they had a soft crowd in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Road Warriors was like the most popular. Yeah, it may not necessarily be true, but they were like the most popular. Like they're the tag team. Whenever I think of WCW, they're the tag team I hear the most.
Well, the Road Warriors got popular when they turned on Dusty Rhodes and put that spike right into Dusty Rhodes' eye. Mm-hmm. That's when they actually got really popular.
You know, this whole time, y'all, I apologize. I haven't even mentioned my true favorite tag team of all time, but the Rockers, though. The Rockers.
You know what?
That was my favorite. The Rockers were my favorite. They were my favorite of all time.
Me and you
and
connect. You connect. Because I remember
Marty Jannetty, bro.
Especially when they were.
The thing that kills me, Marty Jannetty was the dude that everybody was looking at first. It wasn't Shawn Michaels. It was Marty.
He was better than Marty. I mean, he was better than Shawn.
Yeah.
If you ask me. Yeah. Marty was fucking better than Shawn. They just gave Shawn the push.
Yep.
Well, Marty had his outside demons. That's really the only thing that hurt Marty.
Yeah.
If he could control that, I mean, we talk about Marty like way more than Shawn.
Shawn did an interview saying he
can you imagine
have a contact number for Marty.
Wow. You're right. I think I do remember that.
Yeah, contact. He did an interview saying he have a contact number for Marty.
Man.
Wishes him well.
So, unfortunately, the tag team that got me into wrestling, they didn't last very long.
Ooh.
Which one?
It was Matt Hardy and MVP.
You know what? I really enjoyed those segments though.
Yeah.
Like MVP was the U.S. champion.
All right. So let's say these five: Rick and Scott, the Rockers, the New Age Outlaws, which I already know where you guys are probably going to put them, the Outsiders, and the Harlem Heat. Actually, I'll take the New Age Outlaws out. I'll put the Dudley Boys in. Out of those five, 1 through 5.
Oh.
Who wants to go first?
Well.
All right. Go ahead, Ray.
I'm trying to think here.
That's tough.
So you got the Dudley Boys.
That's tough.
The Harlem Heat. The Outsiders. The Rockers. And the Steiners.
Well, me personally would be the Dudley Boys, Harlem Heat, Midnight Rockers. Who else? What else we got?
The New Age Outlaws and the Outsiders.
How dare y'all disrespect Power and Glory like that? Come on, y'all.
I have the New Age Outlaws at number 4. Then I have the Outsiders at number 5. Then I got the Steiners at number 6.
Damn.
That's tough though.
Who's after the Steiners?
That was it.
That's it. That was all.
So for me, since I'll go real quick, I'm gonna go Rockers, Harlem Heat.
How the Rockers first?
I told you. Yeah, I told you. It's the Harlem Heat and the Rockers. This is it, right?
What was that wrestling show on the ESPN?
Yeah, that was the AWA.
Yeah, they were on that. That's when they got their start.
Yeah, that's when they got their start, and they were AWA tag team champions for a little bit too.
Yeah,
and Sensational Sarah was in their corner for a minute.
So look, this is how it was. I don't know about you guys, but when I watched wrestling, when it went off, I wrestled. I imitated everything I seen.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I fucked pillows up and shit like that. So, the Rockers was more exciting to imitate. The Rockers, it was more exciting to run and do a flip onto a bed than it was to to slam some pillow or something. You know what I'm saying? It was more fun to get on. And then you guys got to understand, when I say that we wrestled, we'd practice on the couch, practice on the bed and shit, and then excuse me, fridge, but we'd go outside. I had a huge trampoline, like.
Oh yeah, man! Trampoline wrestling is where it was.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
But right next to my trampoline was a pool.
Oh.
And then the trampoline was set up in a way where it was just far enough from my house that I could run and jump off the roof. And whoever was down there getting beat up, I'm sorry, but I'm hitting you with a Macho Man flying elbow. I'm hitting you with the shooting star. I'm hitting you with a swanton bomb.
Frog splash.
I got with a couple frogs, quite a few frog splashes. Me and Eddie Guerrero, we got together in this head of mine. We put people through some trampolines. So you know what I'm saying? So and we talk about we jumping off the roof. So sometimes you getting so much momentum, you both might end up in the pool. So man, we used to have fun. So
that's what I was about to ask. Did you accidentally bounce off the trampoline and go into the pool?
Sometimes you would want to plan it that way, depending on who you were wrestling at the time, because sometimes you jump off and you go too far than you wanted to, and it's too late, and you might hit a chin, and you was aiming for like the chest area, so you want to bounce off of that, get into the pool, kind of get yourself a running start, get the fuck away.
Royal Rumble, you all compete inside that trampoline, and then you throw each other into the pool.
Right, like who's the next entrant?
Me and my cousin, we imitated the Road Warriors because I was big enough to be Animal. He was athletic enough to be Hawk, and we used to take people, and he would come off his second floor roof, and I have him on my shoulder with nothing else underneath us. He comes off, throw him right into the ground. And I mean, it was just ground. It was straight out ground. My cousin, he was unbelievable because he used to do flips off his second floor with no nets, no cushion, no nothing. And he hit right on the concrete and stuff like that. We used to do all kinds of stuff like that. And then we got hooked up with the Hardy Boys when they were young, growing up in North Carolina. So we went to their backyard wrestling events.
See, I used to have a friend, right? I'm going to tell y'all about the same house. We moved around a lot, but this particular house we got, so man, I don't know how we survived this particular house. Like, before we go, it's off topic, but I'll tell you a funny. No, listen, you're looking at me crazy, Chris. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you a little context of this particular house. So we can't even go forward with the wrestling story real quick. I gotta tell you a story. So we're like it's like 13, 14, 15 years old. We're somewhere around that age, right? And my brother is about 4 years younger than me, 3 years younger than me. So in the summers, we used to have to go to my dad's house, and that's where this particular backyard setup was. We would go there and spend the whole summer. So we ain't got shit to do. We kids, teenagers. We ain't got nothing to do. We in the middle of Quail Valley, California. We got an 1.5 acre, 2 acre backyard. and we're pushed up against the mountain. So we're riding BMX bikes, ATVs up the mountain and things like that. And then we're wrestling and living in the mountain. We're mountain living. So, long story short, we got, like I told you, we got a backyard about an acre and a half, almost 2 acres, big. And so we're back there and we don't ever clean it up. There's random shit everywhere. And my dad's like, yo, today you guys are going to go in this backyard. You're going to clean up all this trash out there. We're like, no, I don't know. We didn't have parties, guys. We didn't have all this stuff. There's all sorts of stuff. So my brother's pissed off. Okay. My brother's pissed off. And, we're ragging on him like, yo, you're not helping. We snitching. He's getting in trouble. So now he's really pissed. You know what I mean? And he takes his shovel, guys, and he spikes the shovel. Ugh, I ain't cleaning shit. And when he spikes the shovel, you hear shh. And at first, we're like, what the hell is that? Oh, well. Brother's pouting. This shh turns to woof. And the freaking Easy Off can explodes. And inside the can of Easy Off, it was half full of can of Easy Off. So acid, oven cleaning acid sprays everywhere. Right? All over him. In his eye, on his face, on his neck, on his arms. Now he's screaming, right? He's fucking screaming. He's running around in circles. He takes off in the house, runs in the shower. And what do? You should never put water on acid. So it's spread all over the place. So that's the type of backyard we were in, all right? Easy Off can just randomly gets hit. But, so we're those are the type of wrestling matches we had. So that's why I prefer the Rockers, because I was able to imitate more of that crazy Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. The Rockers created that whole type of tag team. Oh, yeah. Without the Rockers, there's no Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. That is the New Age Rockers.
I 100% agree with that sentence.
You know what I mean? So, and then the Harlem Heat. The Harlem Heat, to me, also, I had to get a little older to fully respect what the Harlem Heat represented for, just a lot of different individuals, like, ourselves. There wasn't a lot of tag teams like that represented us to in a respectful way back then. It was a lot of like clowning, like laughing stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was great to see someone respectable on the screen representing us. So that was my reasoning for them two being my 1 and 2. And if you ask me, I'm just saying it for the sake of this because I even asked the question, but I don't know who is my 1 and who is my 2 on those two. I love them both for what they represented and what they created today as far as the tag teams. Without the Harlem Heat, there's no New Day. There's no Usos.
You can also make it without Stevie Ray. There's no one like a Keith Lee.
Yeah. Ahmed, I honestly think Farouk, even though he talked to that he got more ability on the not abilities, because I think Stevie Ray's abilities were second to none on the mic. He just didn't get enough mic time, which they fucked up. That they really messed that part up.
I used to love Stevie Ray on the mic, man, because like he would just come out there so aggressive and
raw,
back it up.
And didn't care what reaction he got. He didn't care. He just said it. Remember, no one, and I mean no one, said fruit booties before or after him.
Because you couldn't. I mean,
you couldn't. He told Booker when Booker was coming down to the ramp, and he was coming up the ramp. He was wearing those Jordan Carson signature shoes, and you little Erykah Badu, and you little Jordan Carson signature suit, little Erykah Badu shoes. These fruit booties don't give a damn about you. No one said fruit booties, and no one said it after. Fruit booties.
Oh, fruit booties. Hey, you know what the funniest thing is though? It was like back then. It wasn't. I don't know. Wrestling was its own world almost. It just engulfed you. It would like when the show went over. Like I'll take it like in the house days when they were like disappearing, like kidnapping. Who do they kidnap?
Stephanie McMahon of all people.
Well, okay, we'll take it there. Oh my God, that era. Oh my God, that era with
Undertaker.
With the Undertaker.
Yep, Shannon Rock was involved too.
And Viscera and Gangrel. Oh man, that era.
Edge and the Brew.
Yep.
But when they kidnapped her, were you guys like me? Were you guys like for like a whole week? Like, I wonder where she's at.
Oh man, I was scared.
Heck yeah, I was scared for her. I was
like, I hope she's okay. It's been a long week. It's a long time to next week's Raw. What are they gonna do with her all that time?
Going through her all this time. Is she eating? Is she drinking? Is she all right?
Bro, I was really wondering that too. Like, is she? Is Undertaker gonna feed her?
They put her in a coffin? They're gonna hold her in a coffin for till next Raw? Oh my God.
I was worried about her sideways walking ass.
No, when they kidnapped her and stuff like that, they had to hold her out of sight from everybody else. Yeah. And the way they transported her around was funny as hell. Because you got to listen to some of these stories they tell. How they transport her around? You said he put her in a coffin, right? Every time she left the house, that coffin left the house. She was inside the coffin, in the thing, because nobody wants to see if they're trying to get it all. So she rolls her into her house in a coffin, get her out, shut all the windows up so nobody can see her, and then the Undertaker and the hearse will drive back up, put her back in the coffin, run the coffin back out. Undertaker drives out of their driveway with the coffin and stuff like that. That's how they portrayed it.
Crazy.
And they did it for about 4.5 weeks. And the Undertaker said one little thing about it. He said that the cops stopped him and wanted to search the coffin because they said some fan put out a APP on Stephanie McMahon got kidnapped by the Undertaker. So
can you imagine being Stephanie McMahon though and getting the call at because let's say you guys gotta hit the airport, you guys gotta fly to Toronto, you gotta you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you get the call 5 a.m. yo, you ready? Are you in the coffin?
You should have filmed that conversation.
Yeah.
You're not laying in the coffin yet. What the hell am I supposed to do? I can't even pick you up until you get your ass in the coffin.
Exactly.
But that's when Vince let the Undertaker use his private jets and stuff too. When they use these angles like that, they put these people on their private jets so they can't go through the regular airports and stuff. So,
do you think he carried around a team of pallbearers to carry the coffin?
Yeah,
I think he did.
Yeah.
I can see Vince doing that. I really see Vince doing that. Remember, Vince is the king of petty.
And all the people they use is these. You remember when they had all these matches? They all these guys who are really punk wrestlers who get the squash matches and stuff. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that actually carries around the coffin and all that stuff. It used to be wrestlers that were used to be in squash matches.
So Undertaker just showed up. Undertaker just showed up in a black Tahoe with six dudes in masks.
Developmental talent, boy, all dressed up as the brew, ready to go.
Can you imagine Stephanie McMahon, if she had kids at the time, and the kids are Mom's getting carried away in the coffin?
Yeah,
She did.
But they had to explain to her older. They had to explain to her older kid because her older kid got some of the old things, and one of the issue was the Undertaker kidnapping her, and she's like, "You got kidnapped by the Undertaker?" And she said that her daughter would not talk to the Undertaker for almost 6 months because she thought it was real at one time. And Triple H did not downplay it at all. He said, she got kidnapped by him. We're really kidnapped. I mean, she spent days and days with him.
That's because they were picking him up in a coffin.
Too
Bro,
funny, man.
you're picking him up in a fucking coffin.
Too funny.
So, I want to cry now. I'm in tears. What they went through, the extent of what they went through to sell storylines on that time was ridiculous stuff.
Oh man, who was it? Was it Ming that got pulled over and wouldn't talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't speak English or something. And they were like, "You're about to go to jail." He didn't care.
I tell you, a person who didn't care, Ric Flair. Ric Flair lived the full horse. All the 4 horsemen lived the full horseman life. The whole 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days.
I was just gonna say that's one person that lived his character. That was really him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was really Ric Flair. He was drunk all the time in Charlotte. He was.
Oh, I can tell you some stories. One night they did a wrestling match in the Dorton Arena. Went to the Waffle House. I went and pulled up in the Waffle House with me and my dad. We sat right there. They come walking in. This is the night that Dusty Rhodes got pulled through the whole parking lot with a truck. And he comes in. He's wiping himself all bloody looking and stuff like that. He's sitting with Ric Flair. I looked at him and was like, I looked at my dad. Said they just got finished a match, and he drug him across the parking lot and stuff like that. And then they in here eating with each other. And then Ric Flair comes out. Yeah, it's my best friend.
See, but you know what? That's why the people like the Undertaker, people like Kane, people like I'll put Triple H in there. You don't see that. You'll never in your life catch that in public because they own the storylines that they're on so passionately that they're wearing it outside too. You know what I mean? Like we just talked about, well, for picking up Stephanie McMahon in a freaking coffin on to go to the grocery store. Like, you can't be out in public.
One person that don't get very much credit, that's John Cena with his outside public. He can go from his character to a nice guy outside and back to his character at any time and point. And
how do you know when he switches?
When he puts the suit on. He wears a suit. You actually look at him on the thing, he wears a t-shirt and shorts, but in public he's got a suit on.
It looks so awkward wearing suits for some reason. I don't know why. It just looks so bad in a suit.
He said he loves suits.
It's like sticking a rock into like a slender tree. I mean, a slender suit.
But he does all these appearances and stuff. He changes his character. He's in a real nice suit and stuff like that. But when he is the most personable guy that you ever think, and that's why the Make-A-Wish Foundation uses him a lot. And that's why he gets requested a lot too. I mean, he does a lot of stuff for charity. He doesn't get credit for.
I don't think his character is much different from who he is as a person. Honestly, it's really kind of easy for him. He was a rapping little Duke guy type thing before he even came into WWE. Like he just was that person already to me. Made it easy. Who's like the best character
ever?
Yeah, just character. Don't have to be heavy. Yeah, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, because that was just one, like you just said, that man lived it, so you could see it in the ring. I mean, like
I like Mankind. I like Mankind.
You might not say he's the best, but this dude also lived this character too. Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just
the best wrestler.
He's
the best, but he lived it.
But I really liked Mankind, especially in the back like locker room. Mankind.
Oh, when he first came out, before he had on the white shirt, when he was in that brown outfit. Oh yeah,
and that's
he was
Mick
freaking
Foley,
creepy.
man. And that's Mick Foley, man. You gotta give that man a lot of credit because he put a lot of passion in every role he played.
And he played so many.
Dude Love, he put a lot of
Cactus
Jack.
And that brings me to a point because there was a point at time where he would walk out each show in a different character and own the fuck out of it. You just seen him as something else last week, and now he out here as Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like the Royal Rumble. You remember that when he came out as all three in one night?
Yeah.
One night.
Yeah.
Eliminated, come back. Eliminated,
come
back.
Yeah.
Especially when he made that Dude Love character.
Yeah. I like Dude Love.
Yeah, with that.
Now, if WWE continues, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say this again. If WWE continues the way they're doing it, can you see some of these wrestlers go out and try to imitate all different personalities at a Royal Rumble?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. Dusty, you gotta give credit to Dusty Rhodes. He's the only one who can pull polka dots off.
He did.
Yeah.
He was looking like a big old bee.
He did.
He pulled it off though.
Hey, he
in
pulled it
1990.
He
He was like a 1990 nightstand light what do we call the light shade? He looked like a
Hey,
little light
yeah.
shade on a nightstand.
Don't forget Sapphire too now.
A sweet
Yeah.
sapphire.
Oh yeah, they pulled that day around.
Sweet,
Sweet
Sapphire,
sapphire, baby.
baby. Sweet Sapphire, baby.
Yeah,
Man, that was one of the
he's
worst
the
things
only one
they
who
did.
can pull off polka dots.
Yep.
They should have never split them up, man. That killed that. Sapphire hated it.
I know she had to, man. I
You
know
could
she
just
had
kind of
to.
tell, man. She didn't want to be there anymore. Because she was legit a Dusty Rhodes fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
son of a plumber.
Funky like a monkey, baby.
I mean, yeah, some of the good characters out there. He loved to be the character. Jake the Snake Roberts loved his character too.
Oh, man.
Speaking of which, that was something I wanted to actually ask. We just kept going. What were your best
Tag teams.
character prop?
That's gotta be Jake Snake. He had an actual snake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Snake.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
You know, Rob actually interviewed Jake the Snake here on ASAP.
Oh.
We have to pull up that from the archive. We'll pull up that from the archive.
On the Smells Like Food podcast, the two of them and Christopher Mabry was the production guy.
That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the perfume?
That's what I was about
I
to
can't
say.
get his name
Rick
out.
Martel.
Rick
Martel.
Martel.
So, me and my girlfriend, we went to, it was a few years ago, we went to the museum in Wichita Falls, and they actually have what's it called? Arrogance. They actually have the arrogance thing in the museum. Like, it was so cool. I probably got a picture somewhere of it.
And people forget
That's dope.
he was a champion.
I know what Missy you're talking about because I used to pass by Wichita Falls, living in Texas all the time, going from Texas to Colorado. So I kind of know what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
And he was a champion too. People forget that.
Yeah, no, he was dope.
Yeah, that was going to be my
who
prop,
else?
though. I love that thing, man. He came out.
That thing was so dope.
Man, I'm gonna jump it back on tag teams. Y'all forgot a tag team too. Y'all forgot one, man. Y'all forgot Strike Force. How y'all gonna forget Strike Force?
I don't remember them. I'm not even going to
You
lie.
remember Strike Force?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, Tito Santana.
Yep.
Yeah. Tito. The American.
See, when I got into
Dream.
Tito Santana, when I first saw Tito Santana, he was El Matador. So,
I know. But you forgot one. What's that? The
High energy.
bees. The bees.
Killer Bees.
One.
Killer Bees.
The bees. Yeah.
Don't forget High Energy. Coco be wearing on heart.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Don't forget them.
they were at higher power. Was it higher power too? Or no?
High Energy.
No. What was the other one? Power.
Power and Glory. Power
Yeah.
Woman and Hercules.
Yep.
And they had
Yeah. It was the Strike Force was Tito Santana, Rick Martel, the Rise, and the Miz of the Strike Force. That's what it was.
What were Haku and
the Islanders.
the Islanders?
Islanders.
Mm.
God,
They
I
Then
missed
you had
them.
the Nation of Domination.
Bruh, I
Yeah,
missed
the Nation of
Islanders.
Domination, Sting and
And
Lex
we-
Luger.
Yeah, I
Then
like
you had
Lex Luger.
Y'all
Which
count
one?
Sting- Y'all count Sting
Which
as
one
a
was
team?
You got
Ron Simmons and Butch Reed? What was their name?
Well, that's Doom.
That was Doom.
Yeah,
That was
Doom. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
else?
call them a tag team. They put some dents in people.
I know it was a little bit like later, but I enjoyed the bar.
They were. I like Sheamus and Cesaro together. Just because
Hey.
they really didn't have a lot going on and they were hard hitting.
Let's put them together. But to me, it was rushed. Because to me, you were just giving them. You were just
I
putting them
agree
together to
with
give
you
them
on
something
that.
to do.
I just like the two of them together. That was that's how I kind of enjoyed them.
It was like
That's- in all honesty, though.
it's like Vince just put them together to give them something to do.
Outside
Neither
of-
one of them really at that point.
That's really all Cesaro is, though. He just gets random tag teams. He
Yeah,
did it with
random
Jack
tag team
Swagger,
here, random tag
Tyson,
team there.
Right.
Tyson Kidd. It's never gonna be like him and Chris Hero, though.
Poor Tyson Kidd. Shout out to Tyson Kidd. Had his career cut
Yeah,
short.
I don't. I
He
didn't
married the
actually
Natty Dog,
mind
so he ain't hurting too bad.
Cesaro and Jack Swagger tag team either.
He ain't hurting too bad. He
Hey,
married the
but
Natty, so
then
he
mind
ain't
you-
hurting
Hey.
too bad.
You know, we forgot about the Wild Samoans.
Ooh,
Oh,
we did.
that's who I was trying to freaking.
Sika
I said
Alpha.
Haku. I said
Sika
Haku, but
Alpha.
I meant the Wild Samoans, bro. Dang. What about Saturn? Remember that
Parasite
whole
and the Raven?
Yeah. Saturn and
Cronus?
Kronos.
Yeah,
The Eliminators.
Yeah.
About Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko.
I can't
Oh, man.
believe we didn't say that. That was one of my favorites, man. Because it was like they both had that like I'm gonna kill you look. Didn't they have like that I'm gonna flip out any second and this is not gonna be WCW no more?
And you know what's really so crazy about them? They're my height. Like, they're just regular sized guys, but they were so damn dominant.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't believe I disrespected these two because these two, I feel like they were kind of smashed together randomly and it just went together. It's like someone spilt some mayonnaise on like some macaroni and cheese and accidentally bit it. And it was like, oh, this is kind of good.
And remember
X-Pac.
that WCW Cruiserweight division was no joke.
Oh, yeah.
no.
Dean Malenko was a part of that.
I already know who Jay about to say.
Malenko,
X-Pac
X-Pac
and
and
Kane?
Kane.
Yep.
Yes.
Dean Malenko,
That was a
X-Pac,
beautiful
Chris
tantrum.
Jericho. And then they got Juice and Thunder Liger up in there.
What?
God, I missed you.
But remember that was like Kane's like first time working with somebody that was like energetic, charismatic, and funny, and it was like awkwardly great.
Then you get the Mega Powers.
Because Kane was out there with a little voice box thing.
Yeah,
I don't remember how
because they were
long
trying to
it
adapt.
lasted.
Yeah, because they were trying to adapt him to work to talk.
Yeah.
I knew
They were trying
somebody
to
was going.
get
I
him
wasn't
in.
going to mention it, but I knew somebody was going to do it.
Mega Power.
What are you saying, Nate?
Mega
Mega Power.
Hogan and Savage.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't we say that?
About Jericho and Benoit.
Yeah.
I like
Jericho and Benoit.
Yeah.
that finisher, man. You got
Yeah.
two,
I mean-
two of the best.
What about Shelton Benjamin and
submissions.
Charlie Haas?
I wanted to mention them earlier.
I don't really like them.
What
Oh,
about
man.
John and David
I was
Batista?
never.
I tell you another good one was RVD and Sabu.
Yeah.
RVD was just good anywhere he was. Anything that he touched, he was good at.
He
Now
was
they
high.
became rivals at the end, but what about John Cena and Dave Batista?
That was kind of like a one-time thing, though, wasn't
It was a
I know
one-time
they won
deal.
the
That
titles,
was a
but
one-time thing.
How
That
about-
wasn't anything.
How about the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov?
Love them. I love Iron Sheik today. Everything he
That's
does. on
another
Twitter.
one that we didn't really talk about was like the Big Boss Man and what was
Hakeem?
his?
Oh, you talking about
Yes.
Big Boss Man
the
Hakeem.
Twin Towers.
Yeah, Twin
Yeah,
Towers.
that was fun. That was fun to watch for a while.
That,
then
they had Slick, right?
Yeah, Sweet was their manager.
Yeah.
and then Sergeant Slaughter and what's his name? Sergeant Slaughter was with that one dude.
I can't.
Sheik. I can't remember.
He was with the Iron Sheik. He was with the Iron Sheik at one time.
No.
He was the manager.
Iron Sheik is one time, but he was with that other dude.
He was with another dude. I
Yeah.
can't remember his name.
No, I'm bringing this up. I'm bringing this up because I love the Royal Rumble story line. But what about Daniel Bryan and Kane?
Team Hell
Now,
No.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
why that's what I was meant to bring up when I was talking about Kane and X-Pac is that was Kane's first like funny character that he worked with, and it worked really well. So I think later on they were like, yo, Daniel Bryan is a new age X-Pac. Let's pair him with Kane, and now Kane's already opened up to talk, so it just went together well too.
Yeah.
It was
How about Terry Funk and Mankind?
Ooh.
Terry Funk was dope. Terry Funk was dope too.
With his 77 retirements.
Then you had the Rocks and Sock connection.
Got the bug, man.
You know
Yeah,
what
that's
tag team
what I
I
was
felt
talking
like is
about
very
there.
unappreciated? Brian Kendrick and Paul London.
Cena Rock.
Who?
Yeah.
Cena Rock.
That one time?
One time.
How about Brothers of Destruction?
You know what?
Kane and The Undertaker.
They were
No. Undertaker Big Show.
nah, Brothers to Destruction over that.
Think so?
Brother Destruction.
They
All
can
right,
get them,
guys.
so like
What
Undertaker.
about
hurt.
Yeah.
So hold on. I want to
Here
bring
you go.
up.
I got another one for you. Los Guerreros.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah,
The Los Guerreros.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
bro.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another one. I can't remember. Gosh, I can't remember their names though. Randy Orton was in the tag team.
Evolution.
Rated RKO.
Yeah,
Team RKO.
it was Cody
Him and
Rhodes.
Evolution.
Oh, Legacy.
Legacy.
Yeah, Legacy. That's what it was.
Yeah.
How about the Von Erichs?
Classic.
Kerry and Kevin.
Just classic.
Yeah.
They ruled Texas. Texas was their playground.
Yeah, Edge and Christian, the Outsiders. I already said those.
I don't know if
That's like a wrecking crew.
I don't know if I really like Randy Orton's like role in the Wyatt family.
I forgot. I tried to block that out, man. That was terrible.
I like
The Minnesota
I
Wrecking
like the
Crew.
Wild family, but I didn't like
Ole and Arn.
Randy.
Yeah.
Orton.
I ain't like Ole.
I could have sworn they were brothers.
I ain't like Ole.
Well, brother.
Now I
I
didn't.
hated Ole.
I know
Ole.
we're talking about like
look.
Undertaker and Kane not being brothers, but Ole and Arn were brothers to me.
Yeah, me too.
So this
Now-
is what I'm gonna bring up. Because this is a perfect snapshot of what our 90s was like. Okay. So this is the 1990 Survivor Series card. Okay. So the main card was the Hulkamaniacs versus the Warriors. So the Hulkamaniacs was consisted of Hacksaw Jim Duggan,
Oh,
Tugboat, Big Boss Man, and Hulkamania. The Warriors were obviously Ultimate Warrior, Texas Tornado, and Legion of Doom. Then you had the Natural Disasters versus the Perfect Team. The Perfect Team was Mr. Perfect and the Demolition. So Axe, Crush, and Smash. Then you had the Natural Disasters, which was Earthquake, Dino freaking Bravo. That was the guy earlier in the beginning of the show, guys, that I couldn't figure out with the light blue tights. Remember?
yeah.
Dino Bravo. Haku and the Barbarian. Then we had the Alliance. Huh?
Do you remember when Hacksaw Jim Duncan appeared in like the 2012? It was like 2012, 2013 Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Yep. So then they had the Mercenaries, which was Sergeant Slaughter. I forgot the other dude's name, and then Oriental Express versus the Alliance. That was Tito Santana and the Bushwhackers and Volkov or whatever his name was. Then they had the Dream Team, which was the Hart Foundation, Dusty Rhodes, and Coco Beware versus the $1 Million Team. And that was the debut match of The Undertaker. That one right there.
And for somebody who didn't get who didn't win any titles in WWE, Coco Beware got the most run out of everybody I ever seen.
Coco was dope. He
got so much run back then because of him and Frankie. That was just amazing. And he never won a title.
So that was Undertaker, Ted DiBiase, and then the Honky Tonk. We didn't even talk about them. So then the last matchup pair was the Visionaries, which was Mick Martel, Warlord, and Power and Glory. Warlord.
Power and Glory.
I used to love his freaking whole get up too, with that little half metal mask and that damn W staff thing.
Slick boy.
Then they had versus the Vipers. That was Jimmy Snuka, the Rockers, and Jake the Snake. Dude, do you see the presence on every single team there? Like, it was huge. It was like different.
WWE screwed the Rockers. They should have been tag team champions at least once.
Yeah, they deserved at least one.
They got screwed.
Who? The Rockers?
The Rockers. They got screwed. There was a match where they won the tag team championships, but then you had on the ropes break, and they reversed the decision.
Yeah. I guess that's why Shawn Michaels was treated the way he was later on in life.
No, it was Brett that changed that.
What?
Because when that top rope break, he went to Vince and convinced Vince to change it.
No, I'm saying that maybe that's why Shawn Michaels got treated the way he was as a singles fighter. They were like, "Hey, man, we fucked up. Here you go. Take that back." Yeah, we know we messed up. Hey, you know another prop? Remember the
what?
The barber, Butch the barber.
Bruce the Barbecue King.
Bruce the barber.
The barbershop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit was cool.
That's when Martin Jannetty got kicked right through the glass.
He ain't been right since, by the way.
No.
Right. And that was real glass.
But I'll give Marty credit. He was an IC champ. I'll give Marty credit on that.
Yeah. That was crazy. Those are crazy times, man. That was when wrestling was the ish. You had the tag teams, you had stables. It was like if you go too far in a match, you know his homeboys is in the back watching. So watch out. Like they come in. Hey, it's just different now.
I'm telling you, when I went to the Dorn Arena, Ric Flair, when Ole and Arn Anderson was out wrestling, Ric Flair and Tully Blanchard was sitting off in the back. And you could tell when they getting ready to come in and cheat for him. Ric Flair would start edging up through the other side of the crowd so nobody could see him. They get in, then they cut the lights off real quick to put him right by the side of the ring and stuff like that. But I mean, it's crazy that you can see all that stuff coming. And then I got spit on by Paul Jones. You know, Paul Jones didn't like me. I got spit on. He spit on me.
Yeah, I was there. I was at one of the events when Undertaker had first changed over to American Badass. That was crazy to see him driving and coming rolling up to the ring on the bike, and that bike was loud as hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can imagine.
I can imagine in person because it's loud on TV.
Imagine.
Yeah.
It was loud as hell. I was like, damn, we know you here, damn.
Yeah.
I was in Baltimore when Ric Flair took all his clothes off in the middle of the room and handcuffed himself to the ring.
Bishop, if you go to commercial, I'll be naked when you come back.
Yeah,
he was naked when he came back. They had to run out underwears for him because during that commercial, he took his old clothes off, threw it out in the ring. He was standing there butt naked. And they said we got 10 seconds to get, and they used to count it down. You got 10 seconds to get back on the air. They had to rush some underwears to put it back on him and made him put a wife beater on.
Just remember, guys, viewers, this Friday, once again, as a reminder, we do have the Hall of Famer, the 10-time WCW Tag Team Champion, Stevie Ray, right here on Wrestling Hour, only on ASAP.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So, I mean, this has been a good show, guys. You know, good memories. Thanks for coming on, Jay. You know, telling a little bit of your memories about wrestling. You know, and this is the first time we had the whole crew on here with the added guest of Jay. So, I mean, this has been a good time. The format has changed over the times that we did this show. I think the round table discussion is a little bit better table format. You know, it's different type of podcast for wrestling I've seen around. I thought this idea would be coming up reminiscing instead of going over and repeating everything on Monday Night Raw that everybody's seen and stuff like that. So, you know, so the last ring of the bell here is coming up. So, do you have any last words you want to go ahead and say?
Free Drew drop.
Actually, I do. And I touched this before. But Monday Night Raw had a match not last week, but it was a few weeks ago. When Bobby Lashley, won to go against Brock Lesnar for the Royal Rumble. You know, that match was great. But my only issue with it is that they did not call that a street fight when that was the closest to a street fight that WWE has had in years.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
about you, Jay? Got any other final words? Parting words?
My final words. Tune in for Real Friday. You know, we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty. If you don't like sensitive material, don't
come to this show.
Don't show up. Don't show up. This ain't the show for you. We'll meet you guys back right here next week. But we're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna get into racism in the world of wrestling during that time. We're gonna get into some of the backdoor stuff of what guys were like behind the scenes. We're gonna give you the rawness, and I don't know if you've seen me from time to time on different shows on ASAP Network, but I always bring it to you real, and that's what we're gonna try to deliver in this interview here, next episode. Also, tomorrow morning we'll be back ASAP in the morning. Once again, every single morning, Monday through Friday, you catch us right here, ASAP Network. Please, as you see in the background, you can find us on TIKIE Live Television, Viva Live Television, and then of course always check out Fox D, our partners there. There's a lot going on in the background there at Fox D, the Fox D coin. A lot more stuff they're going to be delivering as well. So definitely take a look, and as we bring you a lot more of the best sports around right now.
Yep. And then I do the website for the ASAP Sports, and we have a few articles that we put up. You go check them out on the NFL. We have another article that was placed up there about the Minnesota Vikings. Some articles in the NBA section, so go check those out. We periodically updating the website. Pretty soon we'll probably be adding another media player onto the website from the TIKIE Live TV. So stay tuned for that. Guys, it's been a great show. I like this show. I like wrestling. I've been a wrestling fan since the late 70s, early 80s. William carries around his little belt. Kind of jealous sometimes. I don't have a belt. I have fake belts. I have the belts that my dad went and bought $10 for. At the $400, $500 and stuff like that. So, how about you, Chris? You got any parting words?
Man, it's
Will
follow Jay. Man, he has such a great moment.
Hey, I'm coming. Hey, William, I'm coming to Atlanta. I'm challenging for one of your belts. Just letting you know that.
Ready? I'm ready.
I'm filming it. Me and Pretty Boy Robinson gonna be on the side doing play-by-play.
I'm ready for you.
Definitely.
And I know Nate.
You got the ref shirt, right?
I'm ready for you.
Yeah, I have the ref shirt.
I'm ready
Nate's
for
the
you,
ref.
and I know Nate gonna try to do a run in, so I gotta watch out for Nate too.
Yeah, no disqualification. I'm jumping off a ladder and doing a swanton bomb. Don't nobody do no pins.
No pools though. We ain't doing it near a pool.
Yeah,
but, right. Like what you said though, man. I just love this that like we just get together and just discuss wrestling. I mean, we talk some current things, but it's nothing like just the good times. The 70s, 80s, 90s wrestling when people actually live their gimmick. I mean,
George the Animal.
I have not heard that name in so long. You are so right too. He lived his gimmick to the fullest.
Man, always had a blue tone.
Yeah, always.
Like, I mean,
He be grocery
How
shopping.
much
Is that George the
how much
Animal?
WWE go through? How much WWE went through turnbuckles?
oh man.
Facts. Complete facts.
Gosh, I can't. My grandpa was telling me of a story about a wrestler that went actually to his elementary school. And, when he actually got into the ring, he would actually have a bear to the side of him. I just can't remember the guy's name.
He had what?
He had
A bear.
when he went to him?
Bear with him.
I think I've heard of that gimmick. The guy. Oh man, actually I have.
This
Who
was
that?
this was
This
my
is a
grandpa when
long
he was in
time ago.
elementary school.
Hey, how about this? You walk into school and your teacher in kindergarten is Kane.
Is who?
Kane. Kane was a kindergarten teacher before he became a wrestler.
Wow.
I mean,
George Animal Still was a 5th grade teacher.
Kamala?
I mean, hey, Kurt Warner
Yeah.
was a grocery store guy before calling
Yeah.
it football.
Yeah. Anyways, no, it wasn't Kamala.
George Animal Still was the other teacher and stuff. So
Big Josh? Are you talking about Big Josh?
I think so. I'm gonna have to.
hold on.
Well, next week on Wrestling Hour, we'll be talking about the wrestler who used to come to the ring with a bear.
With a big old bear, big old brown bear.
Yeah, bringing down the round down.
Bringing downtown.
Yeah. Anyway, he visited.
Coming from the Woolworths and the HL Greens.
All right, we haven't talked to
Colorado.
Smokey in a while. We're gonna go down there and visit Smokey.
Breaker 19. Smokey's in the room. Smokey's in the room. Let's go.
Let him know better. Smokey's on the.
He's
All
right
right,
in the
y'all,
phone
I'm
with
playing with y'all.
Well,
Keith
I'm
the
done
Bearcat
playing.
Lee.
It was Keith Bearcat Lee.
all righty.
Fuck. Freaking Damien, you need to listen. Damien, you need to find me on Facebook, sir. And when you do, message me and send me your address. You need some ASAP gear, boy.
Yes.
Dude. You are a MVP when it comes to fandom. So
He really
we
is,
appreciate
man.
He really
like
is.
he's
I thought you were
hilarious.
I
He's
thought you
never
were saying
obnoxious,
put
man.
He really
Damien
is.
and Freddie on the same show.
it. No, I
was-
wasn't even saying that. But Damien already took on Freddie on a few of our morning shows. Damien would be in the comments smacking Freddie up. He'd be like, Freddie, put your hands up. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's been great, but it's time to bring a good show to an end. Until next week, I am Ray
Till Friday.
with Jay.
No. Till Friday.
Oh, Friday. I'm sorry. Friday's a special one.
Till Friday.
A special edition.
Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah.
It's about to be a show.
Yes, it is.
It's about to be a show.
So, I'm Ray, Nate, Jay, William, and Chris.
Wait, what?
Oops. I apologize. I'll see everybody later.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same.